Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another video. Today, as of literally 2 minutes ago, Tropical Storm Arthur has formed in the Atlantic. Um, Now, I was originally hesitant to make a video on this because I didn't think it was going to form, and then it happened so suddenly, and then it just formed, so I decided to actually make an update on it. And I am sorry for not posting. Um, Again, there was no tropics to post about. I'm trying to refine my severe weather knowledge, and my hurricane season forecasts were getting repetitive. So I plan on releasing another hurricane season forecast mid-season, but I didn't see a point in releasing another one in May because I already had like three, as y'all know. But anyway, that's besides the point. So we're going to be talking about Tropical Storm Arthur. So currently off the coast of north central Texas. Um, Life-threatening flash flooding is expected across portions of the southeastern United States. So definitely the biggest threat from this is going to be rain. If we go quickly to the rainfall potential, we can see that most of the rain has already occurred or is already occurring um, in Texas and parts of southwestern Louisiana. Now, as you can see, the system is mostly lopsided, as we can see by um, the rainfall potential of the storm. It's mostly on the right side of the storm location, center location, as you can see here. Most of the wind and everything is lopsided, which is characteristic of storms like this. Weak tropical storms that form from low pressure systems um, near Mexico, as we saw, for example, back like Tropical Storm Cristobal back in 2020, very lopsided and system there with its rain and wind, pretty much, especially its rain, pretty much all on its right side. But this system is currently moving northeast at 9 miles an hour, has winds of 40 miles an hour. Currently, tropical storm watch is in effect for parts of the Texas coast. Sorry, tropical storm warnings are in effect for parts of the Louisiana coast and the parts of Texas, like near the Texas Louisiana border. These warnings are mostly coastal, and by 7 p.m. today, it's supposed to have made landfall. Made landfall, but it's supposed to only be a tropical depression, I should say, by then. So that's when these warnings will be canceled. But that flooding threat will continue, as that is the biggest threat. Um, and it is currently near the coast, though it has not made any sort of landfall yet. Though it was already over land earlier yesterday, as y'all know, before it moved off the coast, and that causes it to strengthen into a tropical storm. Um, so yeah, pretty large wind swath actually for a system this week. Though I would say that these are the maximum extent of the tropical storm force winds. So it means that not everywhere in this yellow is actually getting tropical storm force sustained winds. It just means there is some point um, of the storm where tropical storm winds are happening this far from the center, and this is the radius. So this is the maximum possible radius of the tropical storm force winds. So most areas actually in this yellow, and I know this from experience too, will not be experiencing tropical storm force winds, at least not yet. If we look at the U.S. Tornado potential, we do see a moderate risk today. So again, that's something to watch out for. But so yeah, definitely if you are up in Illinois or Indiana today, watch out. Though obviously, I don't have a lot of tornado potential severe weather forecasting experience, but I do plan on making those videos soon because I have been reading a lot about that. So, um, I mean, I have enough. Like a lot of people make videos who have just as much knowledge as me, but I want to give you a more accurate forecast, so I've been holding off on it. But anyway, besides the point, we have a 2% in Texas, Louisiana, and Mississippi. So going to happen probably from sporadic cells in the outer parts of the rain bands. Not really rain bands, just of the system, as this isn't an organized hurricane. And as y'all know, those are tend to be weaker, so we get to see like maybe one or two EF0s or EF1s in some areas from this system. Going back to the National Hurricane Center here, peak surge up to 4 feet from Port Bolivar, Bolivar all the way to around Vermilion, Morgan City, Vermilion Bay, and much of these inner lakes. Obviously, shielded from the direct shoreline, they'll get 1 to 3 feet. Matt to Gorda or whatever around to Galveston, 1 to 3 feet. And Morgan City to the mouth of the Mississippi River, we'll see 1 to 3 feet. But from Port Bolivar to Morgan City, 2 to 4 feet. Really got to watch out directly on the coast. So make sure to stay away from those beaches, as there will be flooding probably likely into those roads. Flash flooding potential. As you can see here, most of the rain has already occurred for most of Texas, but Louisiana and all the way into Florida, Alabama, Mississippi, and Georgia, we can see moderate flash flooding. So severe flash flooding, so lower floors of homes, um, definitely dangerous to more local things like mobile homes, like more like when I say local, I mean smaller things, things that can move easier, and as well as vehicles. And you notice the rain is happening very far from the track, and that's due to the lopsided nature of the system. There's a lot of rain on the right side, and also because it's very weak. It's not extra tropical; it's still tropical, but when it's weaker, the rain tends to be more spread out, not more localized like a hurricane. So that's why these like rain it's traveling far, as you can see here. As you can see, those 4 to 6 inches all the way into Georgia, 2 to 4 inches in Tallahassee, 6 to 8 inches mobile, and 8 to 12 inches in a little north of Mobile. Though I do think we could probably see isolated amounts of 8 inches much farther away from that. Wind speed probabilities are relatively low. That goes back to what I was saying about how not everybody in that yellow tropical storm force wind radii will see those tropical storm force winds. So yeah, probably only the direct coast will see tropical storm force sustained winds, but it will probably only be for a very short time, where there isn't a lot of wind friction right on the coast. And obviously, yeah. So I already showed you all the track. Yeah, it's supposed to dissipate by Thursday morning. So by tomorrow morning, if we look at the public advisory, we see a pressure of 1,001 millibars. If we look at the specifics for the tropical storm warning, let's look at that, and you'll see what I'm talking about. 5 to 10 inches of rain, higher totals near 20 inches. So that definitely mid to upper Texas coast. So that, like I said, most of Texas has already got its rain, like near Houston, but near the border, like towards Louisiana, that's where we could be seeing 20 inches, and especially into Alabama. um, if we look to the wind, yeah, tropical storm force conditions are expected within the warning area today, but especially in gusts. As you can see, that's the key word because obviously, due to the system being weak, disorganized, that wind is going to make it very far inland. So very well, we could see tropical storm force winds, but they're mainly going to be in gusts, and then so not sustained within. Like I said, like in this radar, a lot of these people will see tropical storm force gusts, but not sustained winds. And then of course tornadoes are also possible. Looking at the key messages, potentially life-threatening flash flooding, as we talked about, tropical storm force winds in the upper Texas, Louisiana coasts, and minor to moderate coastal flooding. But yeah, this storm is going to continue to track northeast over the next couple hours. This is probably going to be the only update I give it because of, it's a pretty weak system. But if we go back to the weather models, as we can see, this is going to cause flooding through Alabama and Georgia, and maybe even a little bit into the Carolinas before moving off the coast of the Carolinas, as we can see in the tracks there. If we look in the pressure expectancy, we're gonna go to the GFS expects this to crap. What am I? Okay, there we go. So the GFS expects this to strengthen a little more till around Thursday morning. Actually, well, not Thursday. That's more like Wednesday night. Before around 1,002 millibars before weakening over land. The ECMWF also expects this, and then I think, as you see very far in the future, there, I think it gets caught up with some other tropical storm, or not tropical storm, like low pressure system, and so that causes the pressure to drop even more. And if we go to the AI GFS, it does not expect much more strengthening. If we go to the um, wind, we can see we're going to use the ATCF. That's the official spaghetti models, or for intensity, whatever you want to call it. As you can see, it kind of look like spaghetti. You can see what I mean when I say spaghetti models for intensity, but we do see, not see really any other strengthening up to like Thursday. We're expecting continuing weakening up to around 15 knots, even so very weak. By then, it's dissipated as we go into Friday, and then the wind can actually go up there. But by that point, it will more likely be like an extra tropical system in the Atlantic, or with a cold front, and that's why the pressure drops and the winds go up. But it won't be anything tropical by that point. If we go to the HAFS, we're gonna look at the wind gusts because if we I'm gonna show you here. If we go to like actual winds for we can see we'll go to actual winds first. We can see low pressure system moves off the coast of Texas. As we go to Louisiana, those tropical storm force winds are going to be very isolated on the coast. As we can see, maybe off the coast near Lake Charles, but and then other than that, there's likely not going to be any sustained tropical storm force winds for very long on the inland. But in the wind gusts, we definitely can see scattered areas in Louisiana of tropical storm force wind gusts in that tropical storm warning area, even into Mississippi before this moves more inland. So definitely that is the more of a threat, the wind gusts. And if we go into the HAFS-B for wind gusts, we do see the same, pretty much the same story. I think the HAFS shows the gusts a little more organized. As you can see there, the center is more organized. The HAFS-A had it more scattered. And then as it becomes extra tropical, we can still see some strong wind gusts into Mississippi and Alabama, but overall, it's going to be that severe flooding threat. And HWRF, this I don't know if they're we're on the wrong system there. They show a more northern track and a more northern Mississippi and Alabama than the other systems before a sharp turn into the Carolinas. But we do see this is gusts. We're going to change. This is sustained winds now. They do show sustained tropical storm force winds, as you can see here, even into a little bit of inland Louisiana. So definitely HWRF is showing those winds persisting a little more, though I do think the winds will be confined to the coasts. Now let's take one last look at that rainfall threat. We can see significant in here. Let's go to the total 7 day. We can see that within the next 7 days throughout Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, up to 7 inches of rain in places, and that is going to cause major flash flooding, especially because a lot of these areas um, have not seen rain in a long time. But actually, on the more eastern side of the storm, like I know most of the rain is on the east side, but farther east in like Mississippi and Alabama, this will actually be helpful because we've been in a drought for a very long time. So really, that is going to help that. If we go to the WPC here, we can see further there. Heavy rain of up to 8 inches in Florida, Alabama, and Mississippi, they were saying, which again will help that drought. So overall, though, flash flooding is going to be the worst threat in the system, but we're going to have to watch for gusty winds on the coast and storm surge. So make sure to stay updated and stay updated with your local National Weather Service office. I will see y'all in the next weather event, and I hope y'all have a great day. Stay tuned. Let me know if you have any questions. Leave a comment, leave a like, and subscribe if you like the video, and have a great day, y'all.